Hey guys, it's Brendan Foreman, and I am back for another 270 video. Today, I'm going to be playing as Inflation Mary. Inflation Mary is the national group queen of 270. In this first game, I'll be playing against Nikki Haley, Abraham Lincoln, and Hillary Clinton. I did purchase a vice president for Inflation Mary just a few seconds ago. So that is $1.29. That vice president purchase will be for life. So anytime I ever want to add or play without a VP with Inflation Mary, I can do so. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is we just clashed on turn number one, wasting $200,000 in big conservative. That is a big ruh-roh. Do we think we can come back from that? Oh, goodness. Okay, so we are going to pivot, and we're going to let Abraham Lincoln go up in big conservative. We're going to go in evangelicals and gun lobby. So Hillary Clinton goes for youth vote. It's one less national group that we can go for, as she also secures women's movement. So Team Purple has our work cut up for us this game, but it's still really early. We have a player in California. I've talked in recent videos about the strength of California and how being in California is really, really good. Not only can you go to Texas and get that oil and gas, agriculture, Latino, and export bonus, but it gives you so much possibilities with high tech and with Town and Gown. Now, Town and Gown will not be in California forever, but with this new update, it is. And so we do have a big clash in New York featuring Haley and Hillary. So that will help make up the ground just a little bit. So that's $150,000 of clash equity that we now have to counter our $200,000 spent earlier in big conservative. Now, we could still pressure big conservative, but instead we're going to go labor and environment. We still have 0 electorals, but I am not worried. We just have to have enough EVs to survive the first ballot round. If you look at my state groups as Inflation Mary, I just showed it just a second ago. There are 8% penalties across the board, and that's not ideal, but the whole idea of Inflation Mary is that you get that national group free cash. It's risky, but you get to use that cash wherever you want to. So it's a really fun way to play. I highly encourage you to check her out if you have a subscription. If you don't and you want to play in this tournament that 270 is hosting right now for Black History Month, you can do that. It might actually be the President's Day tournament. Sorry, I don't know. The app will tell you which one. But if you go into Play Now, you can do in the public lobby, the online, you can play against the AI, or you can play in the tournament. The tournament is free. It's welcome to all players. You do have to play at least 20 games in order to qualify. But in the past, they've given away gift cards to Amazon, to Apple. They've also given away candidates. So remember, you have to get to that 20-game threshold in order to qualify. So now it's turn number 7. We're sitting with $637,500. And we are going to go up in North Carolina and Ohio for manufacturing, and then we are going to go into Texas. Now, Texas is a good fallback option. Inflation Mary is not really designed to be in Texas, but we are pressuring in California, and so we're going to need to really build up our bonuses so we can expand through our bonuses and just save our free cash to maximize the pressure that we're putting on our opponents, especially since we started off in such a bad hole, clashing on turn number 1 and having other opponents also go national groups. National groups is becoming more and more popular. I love doing national groups because you have more options, but you have to pick your spots pretty wisely. And if one player gets off to such a dominant start in a multiplayer match, you're going to have a hard time catching that player unless people work together and not really collude. There's no like chat where you can say, hey, let's stop Abraham Lincoln. But it's just an awareness of we can't let the player have California, New York, Texas, and Florida, or they'll get all these bonuses. African American does go to Hillary. Old South and oil go to us. So Oil is only a $60,000 bonus. Old South is only $46,000. So it's not something that is going to really help us put pressure on too many opponents. It's really designed just to spread out. So we're just going to zero spend. Let's put some pressure on in California. Abraham Lincoln's doing a lot of preemptive spending, defending in Michigan and Illinois. Of course, he just has that big conservative bonus right now. So Hillary has African American. Let's pressure in the Old South states. Her lead in New York is pretty safe at the moment. California is pretty dark maroon as well. So even though we got off to a slow start, I do feel pretty good about this. We have enough oil to expand our EVs going up in Wyoming, South Dakota, and North Dakota, and West Virginia. And we're going to save the rest of our money. So, again, Abraham Lincoln creeping up in Michigan, creeping up in Illinois. And the good thing is, now that we're in those states, he's most likely just going to go ahead and lock him right now. And so if he locks him, he's eliminated, and we're the only ones in that state. Guess what? We will have those states to ourselves. So, sorry, Abe, but we might want to put a target on your back. Now, it is only turn 11, but we are double pipping every state, and we are doing that not just to force a ballot, but to secure our spot in the next round. There might be a clash. There might not be. I'm okay if there is a clash. Then we would just save and just kind of go from there. I want to be in Arizona, so I'm putting a pip there. I'm going to go and add one in South Carolina as well. And I'm going to save the rest of my $700,000. So Abe goes to the 5th pip. California is closed off. So we went from 0 states being closed off to California 54, 16 in Michigan, that's 70, plus Illinois 19, 89. Okay, there is 99, 105. So we're going to have a ballot assuming that there are no clashes. And looking at those electorals creeping up, is it possible that we could win the game next turn? We're not facing any pressure practically anywhere. We have 275 electorals. There's the ballot. No pressure there. No pressure from Clinton. Yeah, we're going to swag a zero spend. That's awesome. We're just going to save $1.43 million. We don't need to spend it. We're just going to let it roll. Let these guys know, hey, there's nothing you can do. Spend your money. But Miss Inflation Mary has won the game of 270 and is going to the White House. Pretty cool. Have you guys ever had a swag moment in 270 where you thought, man, this is so cool? Or just an awesome move, like going from an all-out steal in Florida or something that was really cool? Let me know in the comments something that you did that was super fantastic and then just you will never forget in 270. But we got to move on. Got to forget that win. Let's get another one. We are going to play a bunch of Democrats. So we're going to play against another Hillary Clinton, a Bernie Sanders, and an FDR. Now, it looks like that FDR is a pretty good player. So he has an icon that lets me know he plays a lot of games. The other two candidates are fairly new. Also, FDR features a vice president. So we're going to have to keep our eye on FDR, and when we have to choose who to pick on, the answer for this game is FDR. So Colorado is being opened up by Hillary. We have a labor and environment entrance and a clash in women's movements. That's awesome. So FDR and Hillary clashed. We can get labor because FDR spent too much money. He hedged his bets a little bit in national groups. So this is more what we're looking for with inflation merit. We're going to solidify that labor environment. That's going to give us enough free cash next turn, or we can get big conservative after a turn. The next turn, so let's see here. Labor. That should be like 80,000, somewhere in there per turn. FDR does go up in women's. No, 72,000. That's a lot of money. Okay, so big conservative. Now that's the one I have that's what I was thinking. Big conservative is the one I have the national group for. So it boosts me, my vice president boosts me in big conservative, evangelicals, and gun lobby. It hurts me in African American. But in this game, the chances of me going African American as a strategy, like a core strategy, is very unlikely. Could I go for it? Sure, all bonuses are good. But I'm not going to overspend to get African American. So Bernie Sanders is going up in the Old South. He quickly has 152 electorals, and Colorado is already locked by Hillary Clinton. So we've got two different shades of blue. It's more of a teal for Hillary, and then Bernie has the blue. Of course, we are purple, and then FDR is another blue. These 270 colors, they really need to figure this out so we can have 5 unique colors, or you choose your color. I do play Risk, the board game, and I like how the app lets you select your color. Another game that I like to play is Ticket to Ride. It lets me do something similar, but like, Monopoly, you're not walking around with 5 different cars or a thimble and a hat and, 3 wheelbarrows. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Let's refocus, Mr. Brendan, as we go up in youth votes. So we are just simply letting the national group money pile up. The board is starting to take shape. Looks like Bernie is going to have African American. I have to be mindful of FDR going Texas and California. I'll be able to double pip one of the states next turn if I want to. That might be a bit risky considering the clash potential. So FDR is going up in California as we secure evangelicals and gun lobby, a clash in Maryland, pressure in Michigan, and then Hillary is tying the pips in the national groups. If you are watching this and you're a newer player, tying goes to the person who was there first. So by being on the third pip together, that does not mean that you share delegates. Sometimes in a primary mode match, there are different rules, but in the general election, it is all or nothing. All of the EVs go to the person winning the state. The person winning the state is indicated by the color. And if there's a tie at the end of a turn, that's when it results in a clash. If it's a tie at the end of the turn, but one person moved up and one person didn't, that's fine. They can stay on the same pip. But the person who occupied the state first gets to keep the state, all of the bonuses attached with that state, and importantly, the electorals. So just a little bit of a heads up. We do have a clash in Nevada. We had entrance into Florida. We have finally Hillary going up in women's movement, so overtaking FDR, but FDR is able to secure Texas and California. So now, I guess if I really wanted to be honoring, I could enter in these Latino states just to try to prevent FDR from getting that Latino bonus. Is he anywhere else? He is not. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Let's get more information. I know this feels like a cop-out move, but sometimes you got to zero spin just to put some pressure on your opponent. So Nevada is gone up by Hillary, so that prevents Latino from FDR, who had access. If we go in California, that's not going to be a good move. We're able to go 5 pips. It's turn number 8. So we're probably about 4 turns or less from the ballot. I could go ahead and pressure in New York, pressure in Florida, just to give me more options. Also, Bernie Sanders is starting to really accumulate some extra funds and hasn't faced any pressure as well. So let's go ahead and get into Nevada, get into Arizona. California is defended. Nevada, we locked to prevent the Latino. And that is turn number 8. So turn number 9, we do only have 20 electors. So it might be time to interstate. Again, I think I just did this in my last game. It's not always to, trigger a ballot. But you have to have EVs, and when people clash and waste money, yes, it may not be the most efficient way to play, but you've got options, and you have to have flexibility. So we're not spending all of our money. We are going to save just over $200,000. Florida is locked. Wow. Bernie went all the way to the 10th pip. Indiana, so far there have been a few people enter new states, but it's only been 1 pip. So no clashes yet. See if there's any. North Dakota was not a clash. Oklahoma, there's a clash. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip the rest here. So now we have 773. We're facing some pressure in the north, some of the oil and gas states that don't really matter. Let's go ahead and go up to the 4th pip in Oklahoma. I don't think that there's a world where FDR also goes to the 4th pip. And then we can save the rest. Now, Texas is in play, but likely Texas will be defended. I'm still surprised that Bernie has not spent some more money in the Old South. He's being pressured in a couple places, although not very many. He did zero spend. So we've got Bernie with big bucks. We've got FDR. Hillary needs to spread out. Hillary is going to likely be the one who's eliminated. We're sitting pretty with 144 electors. Maybe we can go for Bernie this time. So we're not going to be able to lock out Old South, but maybe we can go up and the 7th and 8th pip in like classic Old South and really flip that Old South bonus. But more importantly, take some precious EVs away from Bernie. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, and Louisiana. So if you flip all of those states, that'll give us the Old South bonus, take it away from Bernie. We're also going up in New Jersey. So Louisiana works. Bernie only spent $300,000. It was not in Michigan where Hillary locks. North Carolina is a big flip. 16 EVs go purple. New York is where Bernie spent his money. So we're going to have Old South. Let's see what happens with African American. It stays with Bernie. And we have the ballot. So turn number 12. So we just have our national groups. We just have the Old South. I'm going to lock Louisiana and Virginia. I'm going to leave Maryland and North Carolina as carrots for the next turn. I can use my bonus potentially. Is there anything I want to spend some cash on? So Minnesota and Missouri are 10 EVs. Massachusetts is 11. I'm going to go up to the 4th pip there, and I'm going to save the rest. So I could see FDR going for me, but he's not going to be able to go, 2 or 3 pips past in every state. So Alabama flips to Hillary. So going into this, FDR is the low man, but he's already flipped a couple states. Make it 3 states, 4 states. 4th pip. So look for Missouri and Minnesota to clash. So that is, yes, that's 10 and 10. That is a 40 EV swing right there. So let's go ahead and skip. And it looks like Bernie Sanders is going to be out. So New York is going to go back into play. Florida, which is us, we're going to inherit Florida. So let's go up there. Let's go up in New York. We're really close to African American. Can't do Arizona. If I go to New Hampshire, Iowa, Wisconsin, hopefully they'll get me swing. I did not spend in some of the old South states. I will have pretty close to, did it not take my move? It did not. Okay, so I 0 spent. Oh, goodness. Okay, so the good news is FDR spent a lot of money there. Let's go up by 1 pip in these northwestern, central, Midwest states because I don't think he's going to even consider that. And then even if we lose a couple states, he's going to have to spend pretty big in Florida or New York to even consider it. So I don't know if I need all of these states. Okay, so spending pretty big. I feel pretty good here because we're at 223. Even if we lost New York, for example, we'd probably get it right back. And if we are left with Hillary, which it looks like we are going to be, we should win that match pretty easily. So even though FDR spends $505K, so far it's just been defending a few states. We did clash in Nebraska. And he did take me in Oklahoma. So we're getting pretty close, 150 to 147. He does hold on the, but we do take him in West Virginia. So FDR is eliminated. We're up to 245. That's African American. That's the swing state bonus. And even though we do not have 270 electors now, we have 245. We now inherit quite a bit, and we're all the way up to 374. So now we have enough free cash to where we could just go up in Texas and California, enter into Delaware and force a ballot. We don't even need those state groups. But unfortunately, the screen took way too long. We were not able to make a move. Neither was Hillary. And so now we have 2 turns worth of free cash built up, 2 turns worth of state group bonuses, and we have lots of things we can defend. So let's go ahead and spend our bonus money as much as we can first. We're going to flip Pennsylvania. We are in Ohio. Let's go and flip Alabama first. So we're going to make this move. She really can't do a whole lot. She could double pip Cali. We are unsuccessful in Alabama, which is kind of surprising. So she did double pip Cali. So no need to watch the rest. All of my bonuses here will apply to California, agriculture, high-tech, oil and gas, Latino, except for manufacturing. But at this point, we're just going to overtake her in a few more states, Arkansas, Ohio, get into Utah, which we're not in yet. We're going to go Tennessee to the 4th pip, max out Delaware, and go up, use our ag money in Kansas, lock Pennsylvania. Got some oil money I could use, but all the states she has are locked, so let's just end our turn. She does close off Arkansas. I guess that's a shout-out unofficially to Bill Clinton. Tennessee almost a clash, the 5th and 4th pip. And we're up to 422 electors. She has 116. It is now a ballot round. Let's just lock what we can. Kansas, let's see, up in Mississippi, Georgia. I've got some Latino money, can't really use that. Spend it here. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, anyway, the whole point of the video was Inflation Mary is a fun candidate. You should try her. Don't get too cute, though. You can save so much and they get boxed out if you don't do it right. So it's kind of a balance. Player, use her, get the feel for what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, play more 270 games. And while you're at it, if you've made it this far, thank you. Like the video. It helps support the channel. There are new players seeing 270 every day. This channel will help those players get better. I hope this entertains you. And I hope we can get 5K subscribers by Election Day. Until next time, this is Brendan Borman, and I will catch you guys in the next 270 video.